Well, hello, welcome. This is Here's to Your Good Health. My name is Linda Prezioso. I'm a nurse practitioner at Family Medical Center, and you know I'm all about health and wellness and healthy eating and exercise, and so I have my friend Dr. Jean White with me tonight, and we are going to talk about health. She's all about health too. You see, she's a health coach. And so we're going to talk about various things with weight loss, and that's primarily what she does, is health coach weight loss. You know, when you are going down a journey of losing weight, and sometimes you just need somebody to talk to. You need to say, Jean, I got to have an ice cream cone. And then Jean will talk to you about it. And, you know, you'll go through the various stages of why you shouldn't, how come you shouldn't, and she'll talk you out of it, I guess. Is that what you do, is talk them out of it?
No, it's their choice.
Right.
I just give them the pros and cons and let them decide what they want to do.
Well, that's what you got to do.
I never tell anybody what to eat or what not to eat.
Yeah.
That's up to them.
You got to do that yourself.
Yeah, everybody has to make their own decisions.
That's right. So Jean works with a company called Optivia. Is that how you say it?
Correct.
And it's kind of hit like wildfire here in Rocky Mount. I know several people who do this work, and I think that once you've talked to somebody and lost weight, then you can become a health coach. Is that right? I don't know. Just seems like there's an awful lot of people that have been on the program and then are encouraging others to do it.
Yeah.
So how does it work?
Well, to be a coach?
Yeah, well,
you don't even have to be a client to become a coach. If you want to be a health coach, you can become a health coach. It's an apprentice-style program. Mm-hmm. So you have a coach, a business coach, that works with you, that will teach you how to be a coach, a health coach.
Okay.
And will actually coach your first couple clients with you, and actually is available to you along the way if you have questions and don't know what to do with the situation. So you're not doing it alone, you're being trained to do it as an apprentice. Mm-hmm. Three-way calls and all of that, just to get you started and until you feel like you know what you're doing. And then you can do it on your own, but have that person to back you up.
Right.
There is a certification program that you can go through when you feel like you are more comfortable and you've been through the curriculum. Okay. Even though you're not a client, you still have to go through that curriculum to do the certification program, because the test at the end is on the curriculum, that you understand the curriculum and know it. Yeah. And then you become a certified health coach, which I've done.
Yeah.
So, but to begin with, you're just an apprentice.
Okay.
And the compensation is different for an apprentice than it is for a certified coach.
Sure. Yeah. Of course, of course. So how did you get into it? Tell me your story.
Well, I actually got into Optivia about 10 years ago. Well, it actually has been 12 years now. I was working for a company in Alpharetta, Georgia, and somebody in the company was on the program and wanted to share it with everybody, so got this coach to come and talk to us, and he wanted to get a group together that we could support each other in losing weight. And so I went to the meeting that he had where she presented the program, and decided to try it with the group. But I just wasn't ready. I was traveling like 85% of my time and going to all these meetings, and carrying food with me just was not convenient to me. I guess it is convenient now that I'm in the program. But when I wasn't, and I didn't really, so I did it for a month, and then I called her and said, I just don't think I'm ready. And she said, that's fine. You know how to reach me when you're ready, right? So then 2 years ago, my mother had died. I was retired. I just retired, and I was in a different place in my life, and I was not healthy at all. I weighed almost 300 pounds. I was miserable. Everything hurt. My joints hurt. I had no energy. I was on 26 different medicines. I just was a mess.
26?
6 different medicines, controlling different illnesses, different symptoms and things, trying to keep
That's
healthy.
A lot of medicine.
It's a lot of medicine, it is, yeah. And medicines will make you sick.
Well, yeah.
They do.
They have a benefit, but they also have a side effect.
They have side effects, yeah. Nobody gets vibrant health from taking medicine.
No,
the more medicines you can get off of, the more vibrant your health can become.
The more natural you can do it, the better.
Exactly. But I knew I'm not married, never been married, don't have any children. I'm the oldest of 6, and I've got lots of nieces and nephews, that I love and enjoy being with. But I don't have any children per se. And so I'm thinking, I'm here by myself, and if I keep going down this road, it's not going to be very long before I'm going to be in a nursing home being taken care of. And that's not how I wanted to spend my retirement years. So I started looking, and everything I looked at, I said, well, I did that before, because I think I've tried everything that's out there,
If you've been overweight, you've tried every diet there is to try.
And most diets will work for some period of time, but then they don't after a while.
Right.
And I'd been on all these, and I had lost some weight on almost every one that I'd been on, but what happened was, after I lost that little bit of weight, I started feeling better, and then the tension was off, to lose the weight, because I was feeling better. And then I'd go off the diet and gain that back plus some. So I was worse off than I was before I went on the diet each time. So I just didn't know what to do. And then one day I was talking to a friend, and she pulled out this bar, and she said, I have to have a fueling. I said, a fueling? She said, yeah, that's what they call these. They call them fuelings. You have to have fuelings. I said, what's it for? And she said, to help me lose weight. And I said, well, what's the name of it? And she showed me the name, and I said, well, where do you get them? She said, you have to have a coach to get them, which is not really true. You can order them without, but she thought you had to have a coach to get them. I said, well, how do I get a coach? And she said, well, let me call my coach and have her give you a call, and then she can set you up. So I said, that'd be fine. So I waited about 2 weeks, hadn't heard anything. I called her, I said, haven't heard from your coach. And she said, I've just been really busy, I'll get to it. So I waited another 2 weeks, still hadn't heard anything. So I went and I Googled it, Optivia. And I got their website, and it said, do you want a coach? And I said, yes. So I put in that I wanted a coach where I lived, and it said, you have a coach. And I thought, how can I have a coach? I've never heard of Optivia. This is the first time I've ever heard of Optivia before. How can I have a coach? And they said the girl's name, this is my coach, and I thought, that name sounds familiar, but I've never been on Optivia before. I just don't understand this. So then I Googled Optivia again, and tried to get a history on it. Well, it used to be Medifast, and it's still a branch of Medifast. And she was a Medifast coach. So what I was on before was not Optivia, it was Medifast.
Oh, but it was the same person.
It's the same company, So
okay.
And you can still do Medifast, but when they developed this branch that has the coaching and the curriculum and all of that, they called it Optivia to separate it from just the product. Curriculum. There's no curriculum with Medifast. So she had gone into the Medifast side of it, but she was still assigned as my coach.
That's
right?
so funny.
So I said, okay, do you want to connect to her? I said, sure. So I was connected to her. I said, you probably don't remember me, but 10 years ago, I, met you and named the company and everything. And I said, I think I might be ready. And you said to contact you whenever I was ready. So 5 minutes before she was on the phone calling me.
Oh, wow.
I'm so glad you called me. And she could tell me where I was. She told me who my doctor was. She told me all these things that she knew about me. And I'm thinking, she must have that somewhere, because there's no way she can remember 10 years later. But anyway, we talked, and we got caught up in what had happened in my life over that 10 years and all. So she said, you want to get started on losing some weight and getting healthy? And I said, yeah. She said, well, let me ask you some questions. So she started asking me things about how I was sleeping, what my stress level was, all this stuff. And I said, Molly, listen, all I want to do is buy some bars
and lose weight.
And lose some weight.
Don't go into all that,
I don't need all
Molly.
this other stuff. And she said, well, can I tell you something? And she said, yes. And she said, you can lose weight. You can lose down to your ideal weight and still be unhealthy.
That's true.
She said, because there's other things to health. You're still not going to feel good if you don't deal with everything that
it's not just weight.
It's not just weight. It's how you deal with stress. It's how you deal with sleep. It's your relationships with people. It's all these other things. And so my question to you is, do you want to lose weight or do you want to be healthy? Because if you just want to lose weight, I can help you do that. And I won't ask you any more questions. But if you want to be healthy, and she said, let's look at what healthy would look like. And she started talking to me about what it would look like, having more energy, being happier, having more friends, all these things, being involved in your community, having relationships that are meaningful. And said, okay, I want to be healthy, ask your questions. You know? So she did, and I got it started on it. So that's how I got started on it. And I lost, over 2 years, I lost 100 pounds. It's not, I mean, that's a pretty good, 50 pounds a year is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not complaining about that at all. Some people lose it faster, but my concentration very quickly was not the weight loss, but the other things I had to deal with. The other things that were causing all the problems in my life. And I dealt with all of that, which took a lot of emotional energy. And so I wasn't concentrating on losing the weight. I was concentrating on working on those things. Yeah, so now I've lost another 10 pounds. And
you just keep going.
Yeah, over Christmas I gained a few pounds, but that was, I had surgery on my hip, and I had to eat extra protein and extra calories to heal. Yeah, my doctor put me on that. So, and I'm sure that had a lot to do with, it wasn't a lot, but I did gain some weight, I didn't lose any. But January 1st, he said, you can go back on your other diet. He said, I love what that diet's doing for you. He called it a diet. I don't like to call it a diet, it's a lifestyle.
Right.
But, so I went back January 1st, and I've lost 2 pounds each week. So
That's awesome.
if I stay on 2 pounds, I'll get down. I've got, how much do I have to lose? About 40, 50 pounds more to lose.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, right. To get to my goal weight.
Who sets the goal? You, your coach?
She gives me guidelines. Yeah, again, I don't tell anybody what they should weigh. I can just give them guidelines, and they can decide. But what I tell people, everybody's individual, where you feel good. You know, because you may see a chart that says you need to weigh 120 pounds, and you get to 120 pounds, and you just don't feel good. You know, so gain back another 10, 20 pounds. You know, that's what you need. Wherever, you know, I can tell you 200 pounds. If you need to weigh, if the charts say you should weigh 120, you're 200. I don't care how good you think you feel. It's not going to be good. But within 10 or 20 pounds of what the charts say, I think that's good. Because you have to feel good.
Well, and you know, every body is different.
That's right. And those charts are just the average.
That's right. So, you know, where I am going to look and feel the best is not going to be where you are. And, you know, and going back to getting healthy, dealing with stress, you know, I'm a stress eater. The more stressed I am, the more I shovel it in. And that's obviously not the way to deal with stress. And then when I'm tired and don't sleep well, I eat to try give myself some energy. And that's not the way to deal with that either.
It doesn't really give you energy, does it?
No.
No.
It just makes me feel,
yeah, it makes you feel bad. And especially if you're eating carbs, you know, and sugar, you have, your body will use those up very quickly. You'll have a spike in energy because you have a spike in sugar.
right. But then
when your body surges your system with insulin to bring that sugar down,
and then you feel bad.
Then you have low blood sugar, and you start
feel real bad.
Feeling really bad, yeah. So it doesn't last, that high doesn't last very long, and the low is really worse than you were before you ate the sugar. So you're better off not.
Yeah.
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 I don't know that I'm a stress eater, but I think I'm an emotional eater. I deal with my emotions by eating. No matter what the emotion is.
Yeah, well, if I'm bored, I eat. If I'm tired, I eat.
Yeah.
That's a feeling, yeah. Maybe I'm more of an emotional eater than a stress eater.
Yeah.
But I know the more upset I am, the more I want to eat.
Well, yeah, I think that's probably a feeling too.
I guess it is.
If you're angry or
Yes.
upset about something, that's
Yeah.
But eating doesn't resolve the issue.
No, you got to deal with the issue.
Yeah, you do.
And as nurses, we know that. We're taught that in nursing school. And as a practitioner, I don't know how you practice, but probably the same way as me, as, you know, I want to get to the nitty-gritty. Why? I can be like a dog with a bone trying to find what the cause is. Matter of fact, I had a patient tell me, she said, "You found my gallbladder disease. You were like a dog with the bone. You were not going to let it go till you found out what it was."
And that's who you want taking care of you, isn't it?
That's right. That's exactly right. And I love a mystery. You know, I've always
solve a problem.
My favorite books have always been mysteries. I mean, I read Nancy Drew when I was, you know, a teenager. So,
And with some patients, it is a challenge to figure out what's going on with them.
yeah, because they voice one thing, but it manifests in a different way, and it's not always.
And there's always that client that, and it's not unusual for people to come in and tell you all these symptoms, but they don't tell you the one thing you need to know because they're embarrassed about it, or they they just don't want to tell you that. It start with things that are safest to talk about.
Right.
And after you've done all these tests, oh, by the way, I have this, and you think,
Right.
I had known that to begin with.
I know. We would have just stopped right there and taken care of it. But yeah, and I have a lot of, right now, especially with all this COVID and the lockdown and moms at home with their kids and kids can't go out and do, a lot of anxiety and a lot of depression, more than normal, I think. And it's because our lives have been altered.
Turned upside down.
Yeah, and probably forever. I don't know. I'm not going to claim that, but
I don't think we'll ever be back to where we were. I think life will change forever because of this.
Yeah.
There'll be things that we'll always have that are different.
kind of like 9/11, our life in this country changed after that, and then all the hassle of flying and all that kind of stuff from that. So
I think with COVID and all the things that have happened politically this last 6 months or so, I think our lives are just never going to go back to where they were.
no.
They'll get better. They will get better, but they won't ever be where they were.
And
We'll have to adapt to a new life.
Yeah, we have to be like that chameleon and adapt to our new lifestyle.
Right.
So, all right, we're going to take our first break. We're just about there. So when we come back, we're going to talk with Dr. Jean White about more health coaching, more fuelings. I'm kind of interested about that. I've got to find out what a fueling is. I've got an idea what a fueling is, but it kind of sounds to me like something out of a sci-fi movie or something. But anyway, we'll be right back. And by the way, we're live tonight, so if you've got a question for me, doesn't have to be about weight loss or health. If you want to know about your blood pressure or something, give us a call, 407-1111. That's 407-1111. And we'll be right back with more of Here's to Your Good Health. Don't go away.
At Downey's Hearing Care Associates, we are dedicated to taking care of every client by providing personal, high-quality hearing care services. My staff and I know hearing loss affects each person and their loved ones differently, so we give you the time and the care you need to ensure the hearing technology chosen fits your lifestyle. At Downey's Hearing Care, we also make custom ear molds and specialize in emergency hearing aid repairs. Downey's Hearing Care Associates has 2 locations, one in Knightdale and one in Rocky Mount. We have hearing lives to save.
Hi, I'm Richard Goss, pharmacist and owner of Allmans Drug Store here in Rocky Mount. Here today with my wife and 2 daughters. For over 75 years, Allmans Drug Store has been the pharmacy of choice for residents of Edgecombe and Nash County. Our family is proud to call Rocky Mount home, and we are excited about the new services and products we are adding daily at both of our Allmans Drug Stores locations and also at our medical supply store.
Come in and see us at Allmans Medical Supply. We're an extension of Allmans Drug Stores, your local hometown pharmacy. We're here to service all your needs, from wheelchairs to walkers to orthopedic supports to compression hose to hard-to-find wound care supplies. And you'll always get that hometown customer service.
We want our patients to pay the best prices, get the best service available, and have a better pharmacy experience than they will get anywhere else. Our staff is committed to going above and beyond to meet our patients' needs. Whether it is working with your provider to get you the best medication at the best price, contacting your provider to get you refills or a prior authorization, or taking the time to review each of your medications with you personally, or perhaps even helping you find an old-time remedy or other hard-to-find items, your Allmans Drug Store staff will work hard to meet your pharmacy needs. At Allmans, we will deliver your prescriptions for free. Both of our stores have drive-through windows, we guarantee short wait times, and our pharmacists will come out to greet you personally and answer any questions you have. If you want to be met with a smiling face, or even want someone to greet you by name when you walk through the doors, we are the pharmacy for you.
Call Allmans Drugs today.
443-3138 or 446-0014.
Hey, welcome back. I'm Linda Prezioso, nurse practitioner at Family Medical Center, and this is Here's to Your Good Health. This is a community-sponsored gift, actually, to you all that WHIG gives to you with this health program once a week, and I'm so grateful that I've had the opportunity to come here and work, and they still keep letting me come back. Isn't that awesome? But we were just talking about a mutual friend who has been under a lot of stress. Some of it self-imposed, maybe all of it self-imposed. We're our own worst enemies in a lot of ways. But let's just talk about stress and what that does to our bodies. What does that do to us?
Everybody deals with stress a different way. Even your body deals with it a different way. But it really increases your stress hormones. It puts all kinds of stress and strain on your systems. Makes you gain weight, for sure. Mm-hmm. It can cause swelling, weight gain from swelling from water retention, and it can lower your metabolic rate. Mm-hmm. It makes you digest your food slower. It makes you everything slow down. It makes you feel sad. Makes you feel depressed. So stress over a long period of time can make you depressed, mm-hmm. and it can be the cause of all kinds of illness, cardiac disease, mm-hmm. gastrointestinal diseases, high blood pressure. It can exacerbate any illness that you mm-hmm. have, make it even worse than it. Mm-hmm. Shouldn't use such big words as exacerbate.
Makes it worse.
Makes it worse. It can make anything that you have worse.
Right. Yeah. Right.
So you need to deal with your stress levels. You can't just ignore it.
And this particular mutual friend was having arm pain and forearm pain, which is really not where you would normally think of having cardiac pain, heart pain, excuse me. But women, they present with heart pain differently than men do. And so as nurses, we cannot say, oh, it's not your heart. We can't do that. So she went to the hospital, I think she was admitted as an observation patient, maybe?
Overnight for testing and mm-hmm. observation, yeah.
And it was not her heart, so it was probably stress. And this girl has been pretty stressed over a lot of things in the last 6 months. So we've just really got to learn how to deal with it. And I don't care if you go out in the woods and scream. I don't care if you run a marathon. Some people exercise, like that, and then they that decreases stress.
Exercise is always good for stress and for depression.
Yes.
And sunshine is good.
Yes.
We haven't had much sunshine here.
I'd like to see some sunshine, and we might see liquid white tomorrow or later on tonight.
But
I don't know.
Just being outside, mm-hmm. have you ever heard the term forest bathing?
No.
That's a European term, but it's being among the trees, walking outside among the trees. So like going to the Greenway, what do you call that place with Battle Park and all those places?
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember what that's called, but anyways.
They have a walking path.
Yeah, they do, a walking path. So being down there, walking among the trees.
That's a nice walk.
It is a nice walk. It's not a hard walk. It's paved and it's a nice walk, mm-hmm. but it's called forest bathing. And it revives your soul. It's better than just walking around the block.
My soul revived.
Yep. Walking by itself, no matter where you're walking, inside or outside, is going to be good for you mm-hmm. to lower your stress level. And it doesn't matter how fast you walk, as long as you're just walking. Mm-hmm. It's that continual. It's not like walking down the hall in your house and walking back to your lounge chair again. My dad used to tell me that. They needed to walk. He said, well, I walk to the back bedroom and back to my lounge chair 3 or 4 times a day. I'm walking. No, Dad, that's not quite the same thing. You gotta get out and walk around the block or something. Right. It's that continual rhythmic motion, you know, that de-stresses you. So
Yeah, I did a lot of walking after I had my back surgery. Of course, they want you to walk because you strengthen your core when you
Yes.
walk, and when you've had back surgery, they want your core strengthened so it can hold up that back. And so I made a point of 5,000 to 6,000 steps a day when I was recuperating. I'd walk around. I've got a big, excuse me, I'm sorry. I've got a big bar in my kitchen, and I would walk around that, and I just, you know, I'd count my steps. Okay, 200 steps. I can go sit down again. And
You got forest where you live.
I sure do. I live
You can
on.
do forest bathing.
I sure can. I sure can. And I do like to walk in the woods, but I don't like to go out there by myself because I don't know what I'm going to find.
Yeah, you got wild things out there.
Yeah, coyotes and fox, and they probably would be more afraid of me than I am of them, but
Probably.
I'm not going to take that chance. So let's talk about fuelings. What the heck is a fueling?
Your body needs to be fueled on a regular basis, whether that's a pre-measured and pre-packaged fueling, or it's food that you buy at the grocery store. It's all fueling. You're fueling your body because you're eating to live rather than eating to live. Rather than
Living to eat.
Yeah, living to eat, right.
Yeah, I had a cousin and her husband, and he was tall and thin, and she was short and fat like me. And he said, I mean, he might have half a plate left of food, but if he was done, he was done. He'd push it away. Of course, you know, I would clean my plate and then some probably, but he said, some people live to eat, I eat to live.
Eat to live. Yeah.
And that's where we all need to be,
That's
is
right.
to eat
yeah.
to live.
It's not that there's anything wrong with enjoying your food.
Right.
I think God created food for us to enjoy because He knows we need it in order to be healthy. And I don't think He expects us to fuel our bodies with things that we don't enjoy eating. But if you enjoy it too much, you know, so that you live for that next meal, that next fueling.
And I've been there.
Yeah.
I've been there with that. I'm not there anymore. I'm, you know, I'm pretty good now with my portions. And
I used to be like, I get up from the table and say, okay, what's the next thing I'm going to eat? And get it all planned out before I left the kitchen. Here's what my next meal is going to be.
I've done that. I still do that sometimes when I'm frustrated or stressed at work, and it's like, oh, when's lunch and what is it?
Well, I plan out my next day before I go to bed the night before.
Do you?
Not just my fueling, but everything. I get my calendar out and look and make sure that I've got everything. What do I need for each of these things, and get those things together before I go to bed at night.
Wow.
So that I know I don't have to look for it the next day and be stressed out about it. I can go to bed and I can sleep because I know I'm ready for the next day.
Maybe that's my problem.
So I have my a table in my hallway, and I call that my landing station, my launching station in the morning. It's my landing station when I come home, my launching station when I get up in the morning, right? So I put everything there that I'm going to need the next day, except for my fuelings. I put my fuelings on the counter in the kitchen. So I decide what I'm going to have the next day. If something's in the freezer that I need to have, I take it out of the freezer and put it in the refrigerator. So I've got it, and I write it down. Here's what I'm going to eat the next day. So that's all planned out for me. I get the clothes I'm going to wear the next day.
That makes me anxious thinking about it.
Oh, it's very relaxing to do that, yeah. Once it's done, then I know I'm ready for tomorrow. I know what I'm going to wear, I know what I'm going to eat, I know where I'm going to go, I've got everything together, and I can sleep.
I'm ready for my bed tonight, I'll tell you. This is my, I've just spent, I don't do well in this weather, excuse me. I have to have sun. I really have that season affective disorder, I think.
Yeah, without sunlight, it just makes you depressed.
Yeah, and so I'm really ready. I'm not ready for snow. I'm not ready to be having to stay in, so I really hope that we don't.
I talked to somebody today who said she was praying for 2 or 3 inches of snow.
Well,
I don't think so. A little dusting would be fine, but not.
Well, we're going to get what we get, whether it's a dusting
That's one thing we have no control
6
over,
inches.
right?
That's right.
So that's one thing you need to be prepared for. You're not going to be able to get up to the store in the morning if there's snow. So
I wouldn't mind sleeping in the morning and going in about 10.
yeah. Well, if we got 2 or 3 inches, you might get your wish.
Yeah, I know. You're exactly right. That's exactly right.
But as far as feelings are concerned, you need to balance. You know, you have carbohydrates, proteins, and fats are the main 3 components, right? Of course, the fats have the most calories. But there are healthy fats that you need. Your body needs them. And so you need to eat those fats. And then you need to eat proteins that are low in fat, low in, not red meat. You can eat red meat, but you need to limit your red meat. And be careful you're not frying it. That just adds things you don't need that can make you fat and unhealthy. And then your carbohydrates. You need carbohydrates too, but you need complex carbohydrates that break down more slowly and keep you full longer. And they don't spike your blood sugar. The complex, the simple carbohydrates are the ones that break down. Your body treats them like sugar almost. Because they break down so quickly.
Give a couple examples of simple carbs.
White potatoes.
I thought that was a complex carb.
No, the sweet potatoes are complex carbs.
I love a potato.
Well, I'm not saying you shouldn't eat them.
I know.
But limit them, Yeah, the more complex the carbohydrate is.
So simple carb would be like pasta, bread,
yep.
Even
Cereal.
whole wheat bread is.
Yeah, even whole wheat. If it's whole grain bread, there's a difference between whole grain and whole wheat. You can have whole wheat, but still not have the kernel in it that's got the fiber and all in it. If you're going to buy bread, you need to look for whole grain bread, not whole anything. It has to be whole grain.
Right.
It doesn't care what kind of grain it is, as long as it's whole grain.
And our food industry, I mean, people come to me and say, well, I eat whole wheat brown bread, and they think they're eating a healthy food, and because they've been duped into believing that.
I'll tell you that as far as the food industry is concerned, the food industry is not after our health.
Oh, no.
The food industry is after their wealth.
Yes.
And so they want you to buy their products.
Yes.
Sugar is 10 times more addictive than cocaine.
Yes, I know that.
You eat it and you want more. So they add sugar to just about everything in order to make you want more. So you're going to come back and buy more and spend more on their products and make them wealthy.
You look at jarred spaghetti sauce, sugar is probably the second or the third ingredient.
And you wouldn't think about bread having sugar in it.
But it does.
It does. Mayonnaise has got sugar in it. I mean,
all of the salad dressings had sugar in them.
That's right.
You got to make your own.
That's right. Yep. Look at the low-cal.
Oh, that's another.
And look at how much sugar's in the low-cal.
I know, that's another, that's just a lie. And their parameters, I don't know them off the top of my head, but their parameters are so loose that they can slip anything in and make it, and say that it's low-cal. I mean, like diet soda. No, it doesn't have the same calories as a regular soda, but then you got all those chemicals. What's that doing to your body?
Yeah, that's as bad as the sugar is.
I tell people I'd rather see them drink a sugared Coke than a Diet Coke.
Than a Diet Coke.
I really would.
Yeah. Has less chemicals in it. It really does.
I don't want them to drink any of it, but sometimes I like a soda every once in a while.
Yeah, every once in a while. It's not going to hurt you to have it every once in a while.
Right.
It's having it all the time.
3 and 4 times a day.
All that carbonation's bad on your kidneys too.
Yes.
Can make you have kidney infections.
Yes.
It's just not good for you.
No.
All that carbonation
No.
isn't. But
a little bit is good.
And low fat, in order to when you take the fat out of something, fat is where most of the flavor is. So in order to make it flavorful enough for you to want to buy it and come back and buy it again, they put sugar in it. So they say, oh, it's low fat, it's healthy, come buy our low fat product here so you can lose weight. And you go and you eat it, and 10 minutes later you want more of it. Because you've had your cocaine, you've had your drug, you've had your drug.
Right. That's right. I read a book one time, and I've told my audience this several times. It was called Sugar, Fat, and Salt by Michael, can't remember his last name. But it documented the food industry and how it had changed from the 1950s when moms started going to work, and they started with the TV dinners, and started all the frozen food and convenience foods and all that, and talked about how you could take a perfectly good, healthy food like yogurt and you pile sugar in it and take away every health benefit there is. So you think you're eating healthy because you're eating yogurt, but if you've got all that sugar in it, it's not.
It's going to spike your blood sugar.
And it's going to, make you want more when you
more.
don't even need it.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
it was really interesting. But one thing he did say is they did an experiment because I don't know if he worked in the food industry or if how he found out all this. He's kind of like an investigative reporter. But he said that they did experiments and they put rats in cages and they had 2 water bottles, one with water and one with sugar water.
Yeah.
And they went
They
to
go
the
to the
sugar water
every time.
every time. And then they ballooned up and got fat.
Yep.
So they were fat little rats.
And I said earlier, whether it's something you buy from the grocery store or something you buy pre-measured meal things that you can buy. A lot of companies have pre-measured meal packages that you just pick. It makes it convenient to lose weight because you're picking up that one thing and eating it. You don't have to make a decision about how to cook it or
Right.
anything. It's just right there, pre-measured out. You don't have to measure it or anything. But you have to be careful which ones you use because a lot of them are loaded with sugar, again, for the taste. So it may be a pre-measured, this is a healthy, they say it's healthy because it's low fat. Again, they always say it's low fat and it's healthy. But when you look at how many artificial things are in there and how much sugar's in there, it's not healthy.
I know. And it is convenient, I will
It is
say that.
convenient, yeah.
And I do buy some of those frozen dinners sometimes. I try to do like the healthy choice, although they're probably not much more healthy than anything else. But, sometimes I get tired of cooking and I eat breakfast and lunch at work. So sometimes I just grab one of those frozen dinners. And I guess that's okay too, but
Yeah.
it's when you do it all the time.
Right.
So, all right, we're going to take our next break and we will be right back with more of Here's to Your Good Health with an independent health coach who can answer all your questions if you have any. So don't go away. We'll be right back. Hang on.
At Downey's Hearing Care Associates, we are dedicated to taking care of every client by providing personal, high-quality hearing care services. My staff and I know hearing loss affects each person and their loved ones differently, so we give you the time and the care you need to ensure the hearing technology chosen fits your lifestyle. At Downey's Hearing Care, we also make custom ear molds and specialize in emergency hearing aid repairs. Downey's Hearing Care Associates has 2 locations, one in Knightdale and one in Rocky Mount. We have hearing lives to save.
When faced with special care needs for elderly or disabled loved ones, families want compassionate, comforting care. That's Tender Touch Home Care Services' goal, providing the level of care we would expect for our own. With over 10 years of home care excellence, Tender Touch provides an array of services that keeps your loved one at home. From personal care, light housekeeping, errands, and meal preparation, to our private duty care program, which combines all of our home care offerings in one package.
Tender Touch Home Care Services, where your needs are our concern.
Hi, I'm Richard Goss, pharmacist and owner of Allmans Drug Store here in Rocky Mount. Here today with my wife and 2 daughters. For over 75 years, Allmans Drug Store has been the pharmacy of choice for residents of Edgecombe and Nash County. Our family is proud to call Rocky Mount home, and we are excited about the new services and products we are adding daily at both of our Allmans Drug Stores locations and also at our medical supply store.
Come in and see us at Allmans Medical Supply. We're an extension of Allmans Drug Stores, your local hometown pharmacy. We're here to service all your needs, from wheelchairs to walkers to orthopedic support to compression hose to hard-to-find wound care supplies. And you'll always get that hometown customer service.
We want our patients to pay the best prices, get the best service available, and have a better pharmacy experience than they will get anywhere else. Our staff is committed to going above and beyond to meet our patients' needs. Whether it is working with your provider to get you the best medication at the best price, contacting your provider to get you refills or a prior authorization, or taking the time to review each of your medications with you personally, or perhaps even helping you find an old-time remedy or other hard-to-find items, your Allmans drugstore staff will work hard to meet your pharmacy needs. At Allmans, we will deliver your prescriptions for free. Both of our stores have drive-through windows, we guarantee short wait times, and our pharmacists will come out to greet you personally and answer any questions you have. If you want to be met with a smiling face, or even want someone to greet you by name when you walk through the doors, we are the pharmacy for you.
Call Allmans Drugs today.
443-3138 or 446-0014.
All right, we're back. I'm Linda, this is Jean, and we're here talking about good health. And Jean's a health coach, and so we were talking a little bit during the break about what people need. You know, we need community,
Community. Yeah.
touch.
That's part of the community is the touch.
Okay, and so we can't have the touch right now much because of COVID and all the restrictions and people worried and that kind of thing. We can have community through TV, through Zoom calls, that kind of thing.
We get community through those things. We don't get touch.
Right.
Yeah.
So go ahead, tell us, why do we need all that?
I don't know why we need it. I just know that we need
We
it.
just, because that's the way
That's how
God made
God created us.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's
But
right.
I know, you know, when premature babies that are in a hospital, when they're kept in the
Yes.
hospital, if there's nobody there to hold them,
They deteriorate.
They die. They don't survive. And the ones that have somebody there that'll hold them and touch them, they are more likely to survive.
Right.
Because we just were created to need that touch from other human beings.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
I know.
I often that would be a really cool volunteer opportunities to be a holder for premature
Yes,
babies, you know, and
yeah.
they do have people that do
Yeah.
that.
Oh, yeah.
And they go and volunteer. The babies, they don't even know. They just go in there, and the nurse hands them the baby. They sit in a rocking chair and just rock and hold that baby, you know, and give them that touch that they need.
I worked with a nurse in the ER, and then she moved from the ER up to the nursery. And I said, now that's a big change from the chaos
It is,
of.
yeah.
And she said, I just want to sit there and rock babies. It was as comforting to her as it was to the babies.
I don't think I've ever seen any studies about adults in touch, but I know there have been studies done on children that are like raised in foster homes or raised by somebody who's not their natural parent. They're not touched as much, and they're not, children who are touched less are less healthy than those that are touched more, that are hugged and loved.
And I think it's both a physical health and an emotional health.
Yes. Well, and your emotional health plays into your physical health.
Sure, they run hand in
Yeah,
hand.
they do.
Yeah. So Jean had said earlier about being a health coach and working with Optivia, and you got to meet people and talk to people, and I thought about it. You know, I called Jean out of the clear blue sky. She and I have a mutual friend, and I had something I wanted to talk to her about, and so we met at NABS, and we've been great buddies ever since. And that was what, last September maybe?
Yeah.
Not very long ago. So, you know, when you got somebody that you kind of click with, it's nice. You
Yeah,
just,
it is.
you can just, I feel like I could talk to her about anything. It's
Yeah,
really,
we sat on the sidewalk outside of NABS.
That's
so we
right.
had to wear our masks.
that's right, because I wasn't going to wear my mask.
That's right.
I hated them.
And we just sat there for a long time.
Yeah,
and
we
talked.
did.
Yeah.
You had coffee and I had coffee. and-
I had tea and you had coffee.
tea.
I had the Persian tea.
Yeah, you have tea.
Yeah.
I'm a coffee drinker.
Yeah.
So, what with this Optivia? So you eat how many meals a day?
You have 5 fuelings a day that are about 120 calories, and then you have 1 lean and green meal, which is a lean protein and a green.
Okay. So these fuelings, are they all like some kind of a bar? Are they cookies? Or what are they?
Well, again, A fueling is just putting something that your body needs in your mouth and chewing it and swallowing it or whatever. Okay, and putting it in your body. It can be a pre-measured something, or it can be something you buy from the grocery store. The program is designed to be used either way. You purchase fuelings from the company, or you can buy food from the store and do it that way. The convenience is what makes this so successful. But the curriculum that's in the middle there is your curriculum. The curriculum is a 52-week curriculum that I walk you through.
And you probably need to do it for a year.
Yes, and you don't want to, and I tell people, don't sit down and read the whole book at one time. You read the introduction, and the introduction's got stuff in it that's good, you know. I'll start with the introduction. And then the next part is your story. Where are you right now? Your measurements, how much you weigh, how much different parts of your body you measure, you know, and how do you rate yourself on your stress level and all these. Let's get a good picture of where you are right now. And then you go into why do you want to lose weight? Because that's what's going to carry you. You know, not willpower.
Yeah.
But it's knowing why you want to lose weight. I have a person that just started on the program. I said, why do you want to lose weight? She sent me a picture of her with all of her grandchildren around her.
Oh, and that's why.
She said, this is why I want to lose weight. Because I don't want to be the grandmother that sits on the bench in the park while they're playing. I want to be the grandmother that goes down the slide with them. I want to have the energy and the what do you call it, flexibility and all that to be able to just play with them. And for them to have memories of me playing with them, not just sitting on the bench watching them play. This is my why. So we go through that. And then we go through the book as it goes along. Each one, I want you to spend time with that to install it. It's like you buy an app. That app does you no good unless you install that app on your phone.
And then use it as
it's right. But you can't use it if it's not installed.
Yeah.
So, you know, you could read it, but if you don't install it, it's not going to be there for you, and you can't use it. So you read it, and then you talk about how can I apply this to my life? How's it going to affect what I'm doing? You know, and you think about it. You live with it for a week.
Right.
And then you go on to something else. And if you feel like you need another week to it, I'm fine with that. You know, it can take you 2 years to get through the curriculum if you want to. You know, it's how long it takes you. It's very individualized that way. You know, I don't push people to go faster than they want to go. I want them to live with that and learn it, and then move on to the next thing. And you can do that whether you are buying products from the company or you're.
So give me an example of something you would buy from the grocery store.
For the lean and green meal or for the?
No, for the fueling.
Well, you could buy an apple and peanut butter. Or you could eat. It's been a while since I looked at that list because most of the time I'm over here. I only have one person over here right now. You could have yogurt as long as it doesn't have a lot of sugar in it. There's low sugar that doesn't add fat or anything to flavor. You could have cottage cheese.
Okay.
Yeah. You want to combine a protein with a carbohydrate whenever you eat it. So
That's just for anybody. Anybody you should eat that way.
Yeah,
don't just eat the carb.
Yeah.
Don't just eat the protein. Mix them.
The curriculum does have a chapter that has samples of what you can
Okay.
eat. It gives you lots of suggestions. There's several pages of suggestions of things you can eat.
Yeah. Well, you know,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if it's less expensive to buy from the grocery store or not.
It's about the same, I think, as buying. What you're people sometimes say, well, I can't afford to buy all these products over here. This is food.
It's like buying a bag of
You buy it
apples.
here or you buy it here, you know. And then you're not going to Starbucks and buying all the Starbucks stuff. You're not buying candy. You know, you're not eating out all the time. You know, so you're saving. Some people cost less. I spend less money on my groceries than I did before I went on Optivia.
Really?
Most people spend about the same. So it's not on top of what you're already doing. You're not going to be doing what you were doing.
It's in replace of.
Yeah, you're just letting Optivia be part of one of your grocery stores you're going to. So you're not really buying that on top of what you're already buying.
Right. So, you know, we're trained as nurses, and nurses always treat the whole person. We're body, soul, and spirit. And so I think that this Optivia kind of, that does the whole thing too, doesn't it?
It does, yes.
Because if you're not feeding every part of your psyche, every part of who you are, there's going to be something missing. So.
Right. Yeah, and how you relate to other people can be a big stressor. So we talk about relationships and how to deal with other people. And for some people, it's just having somebody once a week. It's almost like a counselor, although we're not counselors, we're not trained counselors. And part of the training is knowing when you're beyond your scope of practice. And that person really needs a licensed counselor, not a coach.
Right.
But most people just need somebody to talk to, somebody that'll listen to them. Because especially mothers, their whole lives wrapped around their kids and doing and their husband, their family, they don't take time for themselves. Nobody listens to them. They listen to everybody else. They live their lives for everybody else, but nobody ever wants to know how they're doing. So once a week having somebody that you can talk to that cares about you can be very therapeutic.
Yeah.
Even though we're not therapists.
Right. Because you don't necessarily need to have all the
No, you just need
medical
to listen.
stuff.
Yeah.
You just need to listen. Yeah.
The truth is, most people don't need advice.
They know what they need to do. They just need to run it by somebody.
You ask questions until they answer the question. You just have to keep on asking them questions and keeping them talking until suddenly they come up with the answer themselves.
Right.
And when they come up with the answer, they're more likely to do that than if you say, okay, here's what you need to do. Okay, well, Jean said I should do this, so I should do it. No, they come up with the answer themselves because I asked them the right question so they could find that answer that's already in them.
Right.
Then they're much more likely to do it than if I just tell them what to do.
Yeah. I find that a lot at work, a lot of people. I mean, I treat a lot of, like diabetes and hypertension, but I treat a lot of people that, they just need to talk to somebody. And I try to do that as much as possible. Yeah. So
that's one of the things with my coach, she's always asking me questions, And why do you ask me so many questions? She said, well, do you leave our sessions having what you need? I said, yes. She said, and how do you get there? I said, because you asked me questions.
Okay, I'm getting it. I'm a little slow learning, but I'm getting it.
I'm a slow apprentice,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how long have you been into being the health coach?
A little over a year.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of new for you.
Yeah.
And this part of it.
Right. The coaching part.
And how long have you been on the program?
2 years.
2 years. It took you 10 to get there.
Yeah, it took me 10 years to get there. Yeah.
Well, it's a big, when you decide you're going to do a lifestyle change,
you have to be ready.
You have to be ready, and you've got to realize that you don't have to do it all. You don't have to do it all the first week. Like she said, read the introduction, and then you're going to
talk about it.
And then you're going to say, okay, well then I can read the next little part, and I can do the next little part.
You look at that book, and people get overwhelmed by it.
It's big.
It's a big book. I can't read this. 1 page a day. Or 5 minutes a day.
Yeah.
Whatever's best for you.
Right.
I'm not asking you to spend hours every day. I'm asking you to read 1 page a day. And then next week when we get back together, we'll talk about what you've learned. What questions you have. How are you going to apply it? How are you going to change? How's this going to change your life, knowing this? Did you know this before? Is this new information?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Personally, I think this is probably one of the best weight loss programs, and there's all sorts of them out there. You can get the B12 shots, you can get phentermine, you can get Saxenda, you can get HCG, you name it, it's out there someplace. But, it comes down to what Jean's coach said to her, well, why do you want to lose weight?
You want to lose weight, or do you want to get healthy?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Do you want to lose weight, or do you want to get healthy? And I think, for the most part, you're going to have some flippant people who are going to say, I just want to be skinny. And they're always going to be them.
And they're going to lose weight
and
gain it back again.
And, that's what I tell them when they come in to see me.
That's more unhealthy. That's stressful in your body.
Yes.
And people getting diseases and illnesses because of the yo-yo dieting. That's so hard on your body.
So, all right, it's time for us to say goodnight. Thank you,
goodness it
Dr.
is.
Jean White. I appreciate
That
you
went by in
coming
a
out
hurry.
in this soon-to-be snowy night, so I've heard.
Instead of tomorrow night.
We'll see how it does.
Yeah, we will.
I might go to work tomorrow and I might not. You never know. They'll call me and tell me we'll be delay or come on in or, but I'll get up in the middle of the night. I always wake up in the middle of the night and I'll go look and see what's going on outside because I'm a curious little thing. But anyway, thanks so much for
You're welcome.
coming.
Glad to come.
We got a date, her and I, coming up in a few weeks, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next week with more of Here's to Your Good Health. Good night.
Good night.